Welcome! Today we're going to focus on selecting the right dictionary definition. When selecting the right dictionary definition, we have four essential things to think about. Number one, read the word in the text carefully. Number two, make a guess at the meaning based on the context or how it is being used. Number three, think about how the word relates to the overall topic of the text. And number four, select the dictionary definition that makes the most sense with the text. So let's take a look at this in action. Number one, we're going to read the text carefully. So the first thing we need to do when we find a word in a sentence that we don't understand is to read the word in the sentence carefully. Let's take a look at sentence number one. Practicing at field, Timmy was diligently fliggling, honing his skills with each swing. We do not know what the word fliggling means, but we do know that it's a verb. So we're going to go to the dictionary and we look up the different definitions of the word. So let's take a look at the definition of the made-up word fliggle. When we read the word in a sentence, we can consider two things from the definition on this page. One, is it being used as a verb? Or two, is it being used as a noun? So let's take a look at the example sentence. The fliggle gracefully soared through the night sky, hunting for insects. Reading the sentence carefully, we know that the word fliggle is a noun. We know this because nouns are the words that use articles like the word the in this sentence. So the first part of the sentence says the fliggle. So we go back to the definition and we're only going to look at definitions number 1 and 2. This is because those are the two definitions of nouns. So number 1 says a small animal like a flack with wings that flies around the night. And number 2 says a long wooden stick with a special shape that is used in some sports and games. Since we know that we're looking for a noun, it says that the fliggle gracefully soared through the night sky. That matches definition number 1, which is talking about a small animal. Now, if we think about it, a long wooden stick can't hunt for insects, so it makes more sense that definition number 1 is the correct one. The next thing we need to consider is thinking about how the word relates to the overall topic of the text. So let's look at the next sentence. At the marina, the sailor skillfully fliggles the boat's ropes, securing it in place against the docks. If we're thinking about how the word relates to the text, then we look at fliggles. In this case, the sailor is skillfully fliggling. That means this word can take a tense, so now we know that it's a verb. But what does it mean? If we think about how it relates to the overall topic of the text or everything that is being said in this sentence, that means looking at the next part of the sentence where it says it's securing it in place against the dock. So this gives us some clues that we're going to consider. So we're considering that he's doing something that he's fliggling something. It has to do with a boat. It's securing something in place, and there's ropes. So let's take a look at the next page. So looking at the definitions, we're going to look at the two definitions, numbers 3 and number 4, because they are the verb definitions. Number 3 says, fluddle one's digits typically in a flirtatious manner. And number 4 says, hit at something with a palm of one's hand. So considering the sentence, at the marina, the sailor skillfully fliggles the boat's ropes, securing it in place against the docks. That leads us to think the definition is number 4. Why do we think it's number 4? Because he's securing the boat and he's doing something to the ropes. So he's not flirting with the ropes, but he could be hitting them with the palm of his hand. So it makes more sense to go with number 4. Hit at something with the palm of our hands. So remember, the 4 essential ideas is you want to read the word in the text carefully, make a guess at the meaning based on the context or how it's being used, think about how the words relate in the overall topic of the text, and finally select the dictionary definition that makes the most sense within the text.